So it's fair to say we're going to get a lot of reaction to the Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda's decision between the Chinese and Japanese Grand Prix. And there's going to be a lot said in the media. Those two are going to be asked a lot of questions, as is everybody associated with Racing Bulls, in particular Red Bull Racing as well. But one of the other team bosses, Frederic Vasseur, the head of Ferrari, has declined to judge Red Bull over this decision. Probably best to try and stay out of it, Fred. I think that's the wise decision, says the man who did a 12-minute rant video going over my thoughts about that decision. But, you know, that was my choice, and he's choosing to stay out of it, which is absolutely understandable. But let's have a look at what Fred has said here on the F1Chronicle.com, as always. Frederic Vasseur has turned down the opportunity to judge Formula One rival Red Bull for dumping Liam Lawson after just 2 Grand Prix. Today, the Frenchman leads Ferrari's iconic F1 team, but he is also well known for his days in junior Formula management, helping to develop future stars such as Sir Lewis Hamilton, among many others. But when asked if he would ever drop a driver after 2 races, Vasseur told L'Equipe, "This is a typical Red Bull story, but you have no idea how difficult it is to assess the process that are happening in team. We don't know what's going on there and what made them take that decision. There could be billions of reasons for that, known only to the team and the individual driver, and sometimes even the driver doesn't know them. So I would rather not comment," or added. "I probably feel this is too harsh to make decisions after only 2 races, but at the same time, we have not seen even 10% of the information, so it is better not to judge anyone. I hate it when people try to judge us, so I will not judge others." Very diplomatic, Mr. Vasseur. Privately, Vasseur may be thanking Red Bull for taking the focus off Ferrari in the wake of the Chinese Grand Prix. That's true. The focus has very much shifted away from the red cars at the moment towards the Red Bulls, where both red cars were disqualified for technical infringements. Vasseur admitted that Ferrari was too aggressive with its weight and floor wear settings and decisions, but former F1 driver Rennie Arnoux defended the Maranello-based team. "Ferrari wasn't trying to cheat," he told La Gazzetta dello Sport. "I categorically rule that out. If Charles Leclerc's car had been 10 kilos too light, or Hamilton's car had been in blatant violation, then okay, we'd have to question that. But this was a matter of nuance, a random anomaly." I don't know, I mean, I think they messed up, to be honest, and they've pretty much admitted that. You know, they didn't even try and fight the decision, really, because you can't. You really can't at that point, but, you know, they didn't even try to. Others, however, criticised Ferrari for hyping up Hamilton's arrival to stratospheric heights, only to ultimately fail to deliver. Are you talking about the team failing or the driver? Let's have a look at this quote. "People say, you made a lot of noise with Lewis Hamilton this winter, but no hits back. It was the press who made a lot of noise. We didn't ask for anything. We took a photo. We didn't even do an interview. We didn't even do the launch at Maranello." Another result of Hamilton mania is that Leclerc has been totally overshadowed. He is less in the spotlight, it's true, that said, but that gives him more time for himself, to do other things, to be with his engineers, so there is some good in this situation. There will perhaps be a little frustration, a little jealousy, but I think Charles is intelligent enough to understand the situation and see the positive side of all this. He can commit 100% to achieving the sporting objective. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it maybe does help Leclerc. I don't think Leclerc was ever struggling with the spotlight, though, in fairness. I mean, I wouldn't say that Hamilton's failed to deliver, you know. He won the sprint race. He wasn't that far off of Charles Leclerc at the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. He wasn't that far off of Charles Leclerc in the Australian Grand Prix either. I mean, yeah, Leclerc did beat him in both races, of course, but it's not exactly like miles between them. I mean, you compare them to the Red Bull guys, and it's like, oh, you can barely even see it with a magnifying glass, the difference between them. So I won't read too much. You could argue the team has failed to deliver, and I would, to be honest. You know, they didn't do the right setup in Australia. They were slow. They clearly didn't do the right setup in China. They were disqualified, and only in the sprint race in China, in the hands of Lewis Hamilton, did the car really look like a front runner. Yeah, you know, you could argue that they got a bit lucky in the sense that, you know, Hamilton was out front. Maybe that Ferrari car. Let's question that for a second. Maybe that Ferrari car is a great car in clear air, but not when it's in traffic, because Hamilton was struggling so much to get past those guys in Australia. It was Alex Albon, wasn't it? Was it Alex Albon? It was Alex Albon, wasn't it? He couldn't even get the entire race pretty much. So I don't think that car is particularly good in dirty air, but it seems like it's very very good in clean air. That could maybe be the thing here. But then again, in qualifying, they haven't looked that great. I mean, yeah, sprint pole, but aside from that, they've not been right up there. And Leclerc and Hamilton are two very good qualifiers. In my opinion, the best qualifier ever in terms of pole positions, at least in terms of overall numbers, and also the guy who's fastest over one lap probably right now too, in the form of Charles Leclerc. So your thoughts in the comments below, guys. You know, what are you thinking about the Lawson situation? And I think Vasseur is very right to stay out of it, to be honest with you. It's our job in the media to question things like that, not the other team bosses. You know, be wise and stay out. Be like Fred, stay out of it. But I'm asking you to get in it and say what your thoughts on it are overall. I want to hear what you have to say. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, guys. A fantastic weekend ahead, and see you very soon for hopefully a more tame week until we get to the Japanese Grand Prix at the end of next weekend. Real looking forward to it.